Hey, it's Mark Montano here with Make Your Mark. In this episode, we're discovering that all that glitters isn't just gold, it's silver. We'll be making a silver knight's shield for your little dragon slayer. My friends from Threadbanger will be stopping by to help me recover a table. We'll be sewing some simple silver window treatments. And Peter Marr will be stopping by to show us how to make an industrial metal shelf. These shining treatments will add the perfect amount of glitz to your life in this week's episode, Hi-Ho Silver.
This show is made possible by Krylon. Krylon has been formulating paints that deliver color, durability, and fast dry time since 1947. Our range of products expands from indoors to out with a variety of formulations to meet project needs, from plastic and laminate to rust preventative, and craft and hobby products. And by Eclectic Products, makers of the E6000 family of adhesives. E6000 professional strength adhesives for crafts, decor, home repairs, scrapbooking, photos, framing, and more. E6000 industrial strength adhesive. Favecrafts.com is proud to sponsor Make Your Mark. At favecrafts.com, you can find craft projects, videos, and tips. New crochet, Christmas crafts, sewing, kids crafts, jewelry making, knitting, paper craft projects, and more. And by Plaid Enterprises. Plaid has been happily helping crafters bring ideas to life with products such as Folk Art, Delta, Apple Barrel, Lucilla, Gallery Glass, One Stroke, and Mod Podge. Plaid. Creative ideas made easy.
I don't know any kid who doesn't love playing Knights and Dragons, but those plastic shields are always breaking and are sometimes a bit too small. I have a better solution. How about making your own? This metallic shield can be customized for your child, can be made with items you can find around the house, and you can keep your little knight entertained for a while as they help you put it all together. Gather round, young knights. We are going to forge this shield from cardboard and a little bit of tinfoil. The first thing you're going to do is gather up some large pieces of cardboard for this project. Just take apart an old box. You're good to go. You're going to need a big piece of newspaper or a piece of butcher paper to make your pattern. And fold it in half. And then you're going to draw your shield pattern on. Something like that. Our next step is cutting out our butcher paper pattern. So now we have the shape of our shield, and we're just going to trace it on top of our piece of cardboard. Now we're going to cut out the base of our shield. So the next thing we're going to do is make a smaller shield to go on top of this to give our shield some sturdiness. So you want to take your pattern and you're going to cut off about 1 inch or 1.5 inches all the way around. And cut out another shield about this size. Looks good. So we're going to trace our second shield on another piece of cardboard. So what would a shield be if it didn't have some sort of a crest or a crusade type of cross right in the center? So we're going to take our pattern again, and we're going to fold it in half, just like that. going to cut out kind of an interesting shaped cross. Now, you can experiment with other pieces of paper. If you want, draw out a pattern. I've got something in mind that might work here. Now, if you fold your paper in half and then in half again, and then cut out your cross that way, it will be perfectly symmetrical, just like this. And experiment with other pieces of paper if you can't get it right. Next, we're going to trace this and cut it out in yet another piece of cardboard. So there you have your cross, which is going to go right in the center of your shield. And just for fun, let's cut out a heart. Now it's time to glue all of our pieces together. Now, you could use a regular white school glue, or to make it go much more quickly, you could use hot glue. Now, Mom and Dad, you get to use the hot glue gun. Don't let the kids use it, right? So we're gonna glue a heart right in the center of our cross, just like that. And we're gonna center our cross right on top of our middle shield. Then we're going to take our middle shield and put it right on top of our big shield. All right. Make sure it stays. And there you go. So our shield is glued together, and to make it look like it has rivets, we're going to glue some buttons around here. Just going to hot glue them in a couple of different places on the shield. So it looks like this was actually put together by a blacksmith. Now we're ready to make it look like it's made out of metal. I like when the tinfoil gets a little wrinkled because it really looks like it's made out of metal. Paint the shield with the decoupage medium. You want a nice even coat, and now we're going to add the tinfoil. You're going to smash it around all the shapes that we glued on so that you can see them. If you need to, run your fingernail along the edges of the cross and the heart so that it becomes very distinct on your shield. Now, if you want, you can cover the back in more tinfoil so that the entire thing is covered in silver. Once your tinfoil is dry, we're going to take a little bit of black acrylic paint and a rag, and we're going to rub it across the tinfoil so that it looks like aged metal. It's important to work quickly because you don't want your paint to dry too heavily in certain areas, and you want to really rub it around so it's nice and even. Okay, so you can see how this is looking a lot more like aged metal. And after that, what you're going to want to do is just create a handle with another piece of cardboard. Rub the cardboard over the edge of the table. You're going to glue it on the back of the shield so that they have a place to hold it. And there you go. You're ready for backyard battle. Warning, this may not protect you from dragon fire. Do you ever want to change up your room, but you don't want to throw a ton of money into new furniture? Keep your furniture where it is and try dressing it up instead. This is an inexpensive way to give your existing pieces a new life at a low cost. Rob and Corinne are hosts and creators of the YouTube channel Threadbanger. Threadbanger was one of the first DIY YouTube channels featuring a variety of projects from fashion to decorating. They have over 240,000 subscribers and have made over 550 videos, making them a staple of the DIY community. So we thought it might be fun to just sort of recover some pieces in an interesting way, and I can't do it all by myself, so.
Where'd you get this at?
This is just a basic,
Pretty basic.
lack table, but it's not so exciting, is it?
Well, these, I mean, I see a lot of these in people's apartments because they're super cheap, and it's a great thing to kind of hack up and make your own, I think.
All right, so we are gonna make it our own. And then we also have this mirror frame, which I thought we could do something and maybe do a little matchy
Oh, I thought
set
that was
type
a
of thing.
toilet seat cover before when you brought it out.
Thank you.
Kind of.
All right, so do you want to work on the mirror? And I've got all this awesome aluminum tape, which I thought you'd appreciate because it's kind of like a, you know, duct tape type of.
A tape junkie.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, if you can't sew, you might as well tape.
So our goal today is to recover this table and this mirror frame with aluminum tape and give it a nice patina finish. Crinkly the better, I think, for the mirror because it'll catch the patina nicely. And here's a big pair of scissors for you. So to start with, we're just gonna go ahead and cut the tape a little bit longer than the length of the table so it can go over the edge. And then once the tabletop is done, I guess we can go around the sides and then we'll finish up the legs and see what happens.
It's tape. What could
It's
go
tape.
wrong?
Exactly.
So basically, I'm just cutting short strips of the tape, removing the backing, and then one by one applying them to the rim of the mirror. And the beauty of this kind of project is that I'm usually a perfectionist and I want everything to be super smooth and really perfect, but it doesn't have to be on this.
Nope.
I want it to be imperfect. Imagine that.
So what's the craziest video you guys have ever made?
Well, since we're working with aluminum foil, this actually fits in really well. Someone asked us to do an episode on hats. They're like, it'd be really good to show them how to make aluminum foil deflector beanies.
A what?
An AFDB, which deflects alien signals so they can't read your mind. No one liked it.
Why do you think that DIY has become so huge?
The act or the word?
Just people doing projects.
The economy, right?
More than anything?
I mean, I think like people want to save money these days, and it's stupid to go to a store and buy hundreds of dollars worth of shirts and fashion or tables and things that go out of style when you could do it yourself, right?
So when you're using aluminum tape on a flat surface like this, it's good to take a book or a credit card, or Rob could sit on it maybe, to make sure that the tape is completely flat.
I think really the winning key here is just put aluminum foil tape over the entire thing. Layers upon layers upon layers, and this thing actually looks kind of awesome.
We're almost done covering the table and the mirror frame. What a challenge. The next thing we're going to do is smooth out everything and then give it a nice green patina with an acrylic paint.
Boom.
Okay, so Rob, come on, squeeze over here. We'll put Corinne's mirror frame on that.
Because I've never done any antiquing type of thing, and I didn't know you could just use acrylic paint for that, so.
And it's hard to get that kind of sheen on things too without silver leafing or gold leafing. And this is a real fun, inexpensive way to do that. I'm just gonna go over the frame again, just with this rag, and push down everything. We got it pretty flat before we start giving the patina to it. So when we rub on the green paint, it's gonna take off the high sheen of the silver. It's gonna catch in all the little cracks, and it's just gonna give it a nice, filmy, aged look. So we'll use a couple of different greens just to get that effect.
Here goes nothing.
Go for it. I love the greens because I think that most metal has kind of a green tint to it when it starts to fade and get a little aged.
It's almost like magic.
See how it's catching in all the cracks and you can get the shine. But
And that was like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And it totally transformed it.
It looks so chic now. It can be very creative because you can put the tape in all different patterns if you want to. You could actually cut out cardboard shapes with a really thin cardboard and put it underneath.
Raises it a little bit.
Exactly, and then you'd have this kind of decorative edge type of thing. So you can be as creative as you want with this technique.
That's a good idea. Well, I really think it works out a lot better on the table than it does as a hat.
Truth.
Thanks again to my friends Rob and Corinne for stopping by. Now, I'm going to show you one of my favorite party tricks. I have a simple, low-cost way to make your house look a lot more festive and sparkly for a party using easy-to-find paillettes. So for all of you who love to host but don't love to decorate, this is an easy fix. These silver paillette streamers are a great way to spice up a party, add some sparkle to a boring tablescape, or spruce up a window. Pull out about 10 inches of thread on your sewing machine. Put down your presser foot and stitch across your paillette as you're pulling the thread. Give it about an inch or an inch and a half in between paillettes. For some variation, add some bigger paillettes in the middle of the smaller paillettes. What I really love about these streamers is that they catch the light in a terrific way, and they're not expensive to make at all. Sometimes paillettes stick together, so if you just bend a stack of them, they'll come apart quite easily. Once the streamer is the length that you like, you want to pull out about 10 inches of thread at the bottom, just like you did at the top. Carefully thread on one of the beads and tie a knot at the base, and this is going to give it some weight. And there you have it, a great way to add some sparkle to your home. Make sure that when you're pushing the paillettes underneath your presser foot, that you're very careful not to sew your fingers. This next project is a really great addition to any house. Right now, industrial loft style is really popular in the world of interior design. Clean lines, wood, and metal mixtures are appearing everywhere. Staying on trend can be expensive, and as I always say, if you can't find it, make it. We're going to show you a way to get this look at a low cost with one trip to a hardware store. Best of all, you can adjust the dimensions to fit your living space. It's custom furniture that allows you to make your mark. Peter Moore has experience in all realms of construction, from celebrity homes to the set we're standing on right now. For the past 10 years, he's been the host of a variety of home decor television shows, sharing his knowledge of building. To top it all off, Peter is an award-winning comic. If you're a fan of industrial-style furniture, Peter Marr is here to show us how to make a silver metal shelf with 3 simple items from the hardware store.
And those items can be cut at the hardware store, so all you got to do is take it home and put it together.
The first thing we're going to do is lay out 2 pieces of angle iron that are 48 inches.
The great thing is these all come in pre-cut sizes. This angle iron you can find usually in the fastener section, which you're going to find the nuts and bolts that you're going to need. And the wood you can have either pre-cut or cut at the store.
Okay.
All right. All we got to do is bolt this thing together.
It's that easy.
That easy.
All right, I'm taking your word for it. Let's get this thing going.
Okay, so we got the big 48 inchers.
Okay.
And can you open up these 2 packages for me?
I can.
Thank
Do
you,
it the
sir.
easy way.
So we're going to lay out our corner pieces, and then we're going to figure out where we want our shelves and bolt them into place. We're going to space the rungs evenly like we're building a small ladder.
Okay. Now, because these all have holes in them, it's really easy to just bolt them together.
Yeah, and the holes are going to line up. They come in different sizes, different shapes. If you miss on this hole, pretty good odds you're going to be able to get into that hole. If this is going to be the top, we want the shelf to sit on a piece of angle iron like that.
Gotcha.
Right?
All right, so bolt, washer, put it through the holes, washer, and then another nut.
Now I chose a bolt that's a little bit smaller than the holes that are in the angle iron, so that way we have some wiggle room to play around with if we get into a situation where it's not exactly level. We can adjust it and then tighten it into place. So now we have one side of the shelf built. What we have to do is make another side exactly like this one.
All right.
You up for the task?
Easy enough.
Easy enough. And the easiest way to do this, set the new shelf on top of the old shelf, line up the shelf supports, bolt it all together.
Okay, so exactly the same as the last one. A screw, a washer, put it through the hole, another washer, and then a nut. You know what I like about this? It's not a lot of cutting and drilling and sawing. It's just assembling.
That's it. And now we have 2 sides of the shelf built that look like stair steps on a ladder, and all we have to do is connect them. So if you can imagine the top of the shelf is that way, all we have to do is lay this 3rd piece in here on top of the existing shelf. And we put the bolt and the washer and the bolt through the other side.
All right, that's easy.
Easy.
This is pretty sturdy too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a kid's erector set.
It's exactly like a kid's erector set. So you just set that in there. See how this side piece is on top of the ladder? You just set the same way. You just set the top piece just like that.
All right, it all
Bolt it
fits
in.
together perfectly.
Exactly.
All right, let's finish this up then.
All right. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Now that we're done tightening everything together, it's time to flip it right side up, put the shelves on.
This looks good.
I like it. All right. So now we have our 18 by 18 pieces of plywood already cut, and all we have to do is lay them on the shelf, and we have shelves.
All right, let's do this. That's great, thank you, sir.
There.
Now, Peter, you chose a raw wood for this, but if you wanted to, you could stain it.
And now, once we have it into place, we can really crank down those screws and bolts to make sure it's nice and sturdy. And now that your screws are tight and your shelves are in place, now you're done.
You know what, Peter? I like this so much, we're gonna keep it in this room right here.
Awesome.
Today we found our silver lining with some terrific DIY projects. We decked out our knight in his shining armor, worked with Rob and Corinne to add some radiance to a basic table, learned a simple technique to make some glimmering curtains, and Peter helped us make a trendy industrial shelf. Now it's your turn to make your mark.
This show is made possible by Krylon. Krylon has been formulating paints that deliver color, durability, and fast dry time since 1947. Our range of products expands from indoors to out with a variety of formulations to meet project needs, from plastic and laminate to rust preventative, and craft and hobby products. And by Eclectic Products, makers of the E6000 family of adhesives. E6000 professional strength adhesives for crafts, decor, home repairs, scrapbooking, photos, framing, and more. E6000 industrial strength adhesive. Favecrafts.com is proud to sponsor Make Your Mark. At favecrafts.com, you can find craft projects, videos, and tips. New crochet, Christmas crafts, sewing, kids crafts, jewelry making, knitting, paper craft projects, and more. And by Plaid Enterprises. Plaid has been happily helping crafters bring ideas to life with products such as Folk Art, Delta, Apple Barrel, Bucilla, Gallery Glass, One Stroke, and Mod Podge. Plaid. Creative ideas made easy.